Hello everyone, this is Tina. This is gonna be the last video about merge. Merge is kind of a big topic of Java Persistent API. And let's start. So on the left side, I'm continue using this Hibernate 2 demo. You can download, find the download link from description. I create a merge to here method, but I didn't do any action so far, right? So first, we talked before. Let's review a little bit the entity. For an entity, we must have what? We must have a primary key, right? To uniquely identify a record. And for the primary key, we have two kinds. The first one is a surrogate key. And for surrogate key, we can ask database to auto-generate for us. Right? And there's another one which is a natural key. For surrogate key, you can also generate by yourself. And natural key, we have to assign by ourselves, which is assigned by developer, right? Or programmer, when we want to save. And when using merge on when we want to use merge, can also do an insert, but they have a slightly difference between the auto-generated primary key and assigned key. Okay, so let me give you example one by one. So first, we create a person p1 equals new person, and we give first name and last name. Okay. And then we can using em.merge p1. So after this step, when we do like this way, what is the merge gonna do, right? Do with this p1. And for the person, this primary key is auto-generated by the database. So let me draw and show you what's gonna happen. First, when we have this p1, okay, it points to an object, right? And with ID is none. And the first name is Tina, and the last name is XING. And also in our database, there's no record about this P1. And also in our persistence, there is also not, but actually when we have assigned, auto-generated ID, when we're using merge will not go to a database to see if the P1 exists or not. So for auto-generated primary key, when we're using merge on this object, it will see, okay, this ID is none. And for merge, Hibernate will immediately tell this object is a transient. He won't make a query to a database. He will immediately say this object is a transient because your primary key is auto-generate and it's a none now. Okay, and then when we merge, what Hibernate do is he will create a new object. Let me use this one. Okay. He will create a new object in the persistent context, then copy the state from this transient object to here. So ID now is none, and first name is Tina, and then XING for the last name. Then he will try to save this object into a database. And when it's saved to a database will give a primary key value 1L Tina XING. Then after get the primary key created by database, he will update this one to be 1L. Okay, and your P1 remaining point to the transient object. So if later on you make a change like this one to be other things, it won't get updated. I talked in previous video, which is if you want to continue working on this object and also want these changes updated to the database, you have to catch what returned by merge. When you do this step, your P1, okay, your P1, this variable, will not point to this transient, which is this new person object. Okay, your P1 will point to this object, which is the object inside the persistent context created by merge. Got it? This one. And so what's the difference for natural key? Okay, natural key, let me show you the natural key. Here I want to create another domain model. Let's call a book, okay. Oh, very slow. And we add using entity, okay. And then we have a private string ISBN. Is ISBN unique for book? I think it's unique, okay. It's not a good design like this, okay, but we can do, okay. And here, private string title. I just have these two. And let's have a default constructor. Ew. And we have a getter setter. Okay, and let's have another constructor which contains both of them. Okay, so this is a book, and this ID is not auto-generated. Okay, we have to assign by a developer. So let me show you if we don't using auto-generated, what's gonna happen. So book B1 equals new book. Okay. And in this case, we have to give assigned primary key, like 111, 222, 333, ISBN number, okay? And we give a title, hibernate, okay? Like this one. And now I'm using em.merge B1. So in this case, what's gonna happen? Okay, so we draw another diagram to show you the difference. Okay, first statement, new. Okay, new is easy, right? Just create a new object. Let me move down a little bit. Yes. Create a new object with primary key. I was using ISBN. This is a primary key, which is 111 222 333. Okay, and the title is hibernate. Okay, and our B1, this variable will point to this one. And now in the database, it's nothing. Okay, and in our persistence, it's also nothing. Then next one, when we do merge, okay, merge this operation. Here's the difference. When we do merge, and the hibernate say, okay, this ISBN number is the developer to assign. He will make a query, okay? He will make a query to the database. We'll make a query to database to see if it has a record to the database, if it has a record in the database which has a primary key 111 222 333. And if it doesn't has, okay, so first step for assigned, okay, make a query to DB to see if this record exists. This statement doesn't exist when we using auto-generated. Okay, this is the extra step which is done by Hibernate if we're using natural key. Okay, and then if it doesn't exist, okay, second step, doesn't exist. Okay, it's gonna be the same as the what's the thing? It's gonna be the same as the previous example. He will create a new object and then copy the ISBN and the title Hibernate to the new created object in the persistent context, then save to the database. So you have one database hit, two database hit. Okay, and that's this one. So this is this case, okay, if we're using assigned. And if you want to, the same thing, if you want to continue working on this one, you have to using B1 to hold the returned object by the Hibernate. What this part is the same as the previous case, which is it's not B1 is not a pointer here when we do this statement. Okay, when we do this one, the B1 will point to this one. So if you continue using B1 dot set title to change to be spring, then this spring will be pushed to the database. Okay, so when we're using merge can actually save an instance into the database. So you might have the question, why then we have persist. Why should I using persist? Can I using merge as a whole? Because merge can do insert, merge can also do the update. Oh, so by the way, if you want to understand the update, you go to look at my previous video, which is part 2. Okay, part 2 is to explain update. This video is to explain the insert most likely. Okay. In most cases. So the question is merge, choose using merge or choose using persist. There are two concerns you have to think about it. The first one, what's your intention? Because persist is very clear, just to do a save. Okay, the intention is very clear, save, okay? But when we're using merge, your intention is not clear because merge can do two things, insert and update. Second, we have another change. Let me show you another one, okay? Second, when we using insert, there never has unexpected update. Okay, let me show you, okay? Let me show you the case, okay? So, let me create another method, okay? Private void merge verse persist. I will copy most of things from here and I will remove this part, okay? And now here's the change, okay? So now I create a book B1 equals new book, and I give ISBN. The first one is 111, okay? The title is Hibernate. I want this one is assigned the primary key, and then I using em.persist B1. Okay, and I create another book. I create another book B2 equals new book, which gonna be exactly the same as this one. And then I using em.persist B2. Here has one more new keywords. And I will comment these two and only run this method. When we're using persist And if we persist two objects with the same primary key, it's gonna have what? It's gonna have throw exception for you. Let me using Spring here. Okay. And now let me run, okay? You're gonna show it's gonna throw exception. It's already have the exception. Take a look at this one. Yeah. See. Okay, see here. The exception. Entity exist exception. A different object with the same identifier we already associated with in the session. Okay, this one, primary key. Okay, so when we're using persist, you never have you never will have the unexpected update, because if you persist the same object twice or more than once, you're gonna receive exception right away. But if we're using merge, it's not this case. Merge will have an update. Let me show you. Okay, for the same I just comment this one. I have to comment this too. Okay, then what I'm gonna make a copy and comment this too. And I don't do like this way. I don't using persist. I will do a merge. So this merge will do what? Will make a save, and this merge will update hibernate to Spring. So you don't get exception. You will have an update. Probably your intention is not update. Okay, so let's run. What did it say? They say what? Hibernate to table doesn't exist. How come? What I did? Let's run here, okay? Let's delete drop the, and let me make it larger to see what happened. Okay. Book. I have book, right? I have book here, and I have this resource package to spend domain book, and I have book, and here let's see which book. Yes, I introduced the right book. Merge, persist, and book, transcend. Hey, I don't know the problem. Let me run one more time. Did I using drop and update? Drop and create? Yes, to have drop and create. Let's take a look at it doesn't have the problem last time, but now it has problem this time. It's really weird. Last time doesn't have this problem. Okay, the problem I mentioned before, the problem with the created book, because the primary key is on the virtual. Okay, I have to do like this one. Column. When I introduce column, I mentioned this error. Okay. If you are interested, you can take a look at. Okay, the length must less than 250. Okay, and let's run one more time. Okay. Very good. Now, this time works. If you are interested, you can take a look at the column that video. Okay, I talked about the issue. So here it is. We can run that persist again to see if it's actually the problem. Okay, so take a look at when I using merge. Okay, it didn't throw exception. It will do an insert, which is by this merge, do an insert here, and then it will do an update. So when we're using merge, you occasionally it have some unexpected update. Okay, and in our database, you will see Spring instead of Hibernate. Let me show you here. You will see Spring now. But when we go back to run the persist again, okay, go back to run the persist again, you will see exception. See here, you will see exception because it detects two objects with the same primary key when you persist. So that's the difference between the merge and the persist. Merge can do both. Merge can do insert and update. Persist can only persist. And if you persist the same object, which means with the same primary key more than once, it's gonna throw exception. But for the merge, it's gonna do an update. So based on your intention, you choose persist or merge. Persist, your intention is very clear. I just want to do a save. But when we're using merge, you will have unexpected update. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. See you next time. Bye bye.